There's a new term going around that I just recently found out about called vibe coding. And after doing a little bit of research into this terrible name,
Whoa, whoa, the term vibe coding is bad? No, no. You gotta like the term vibe coding, first of all. Vibe, it's good.
for what it is, basically vibe coding is you code without knowing about the code, right? You code without touching the code. All right, so let's start simple. I have a Vite app created, so it's going to be a React single page application. The AI struggles to do simple things.
The AI struggles to do simple things. Is it the AI that's struggling, or is it the person writing the prompt?
Okay, so we're going to make a 3D game, and it's going to be using React 3 Fiber. So let's think about what exactly the game should be. I think we could keep it simple, kind of like Minecraft-esque, so like a bunch of cubes, and you can walk around, maybe collide with them. And you set up an initial React 3 Fiber game where I'm a player, I can move around with WASD, and I can jump. Now I'm going to go ahead and just switch this from ask to agent, because I mean, we don't want to ever have to touch much on the computer, right? We don't want to have to do our job. We want the AI to do the job for us.
So this is just like the incorrect thinking in 2025. In 2024, I think you're right. In 2024, as a professional programmer, you needed to keep doing your human job, and AI wasn't ready yet. But something happened, and in 2025, it got ready. I think Claude was the first, 3.7 Sonnet, or maybe even 3.5. And now with the modern models, they write perfect code that compiles in the very first try, and you just have to be smart with your prompt, and you have to be smart with reviewing what the AI just wrote and then adjusting your prompt. You have to do your job. Your job is still, use your human mind and all your knowledge of programming to make sure you produce a wonderful product. But to say that, using AI and vibing is not doing your job, that's just like being an ostrich and sticking your head in the sand and saying, I'm living in the past.
So let's go ahead and just run this command. You can manually copy this if you want to and paste it in, or you could just have it run. Now I would be careful, like just read those commands and like verify that, they're doing what you think they are. It would be nice if you could skip.
Oh boy, I do not like that GUI at all and all those things you're trying to do. And you're even complaining that I wish I could skip this. So I use Cloud Code from the command line, or I use Codex, or I use Aider. And, you can skip all those things. You can set it up to say, like, don't bug me with all those details. And so here I just type Claude, and then I say, make simple React 3 Fiber 3D game, and that's it.
Like right now, it's either you cancel and you have to like continue, or you can tell it to run the command, but it's like, or you could do auto run. I probably would not recommend doing that. So we have a little box here. It's like jumping. You can't even see it from the background though.
All right, here's my game. I can do A, S, D, W, and space.
So I think we should probably prompt AI to change the background to be cubes that are like tiled with colors. This is good, but I cannot see any of the materials on the 3D objects. Could you change the plane to be a gradient? Go ahead and give it some big words so it has to think a little bit harder. A gradient,
So I don't waste time saying things like gradient is a big word to my AI. I'm perfectly comfortable realizing that AI knows a lot of big words.
And now we have a little bit different. We can kind of see the ground, but I set a gradient.
So I think Cody is just using a totally different model. I mean, mine gradient is working from the very first try. I'm using Cloud Code 4.0.
And so I want it to really just figure out how to do a gradient here. Instead of making the ground a solid color, can you make it change colors as the X and Y positions change? Let's accept it. Let's go back. Okay, so we got a little shader that's changing the texture of the plane.
Yeah, when I move around, it changes colors. Very nice.
Can you create a 30 by 30 by 30 cube of different color cubes and have the player spawn on top of it? All right, let's accept all, and then let's go back to this game, and it looks like it might be broken. So let's go ahead and refresh. All right, let's just rerun this. It looks like it's crashing on something.
This is to be expected, and it's wonderful. Now you know the problem. So this is the flow, is you get one of these errors, copy it to your clipboard, you paste it back into Claude, and away you go.
That's the point. You're vibing. You have no idea what you're doing. You just keep on asking AI to do your thing, and then you give it to your boss and say, look how smart I am.
No. First of all, your boss should definitely know that you're using AI and you're vibing. Your boss should encourage that. Your boss, your whole career has always encouraged you to use tools that help you do your job, right? The idea is not to secretly use vibing and then show it to your boss and be like, look, I did this all myself. Just be honest about what you're doing. You're using the right tool for the job, but learn how to vibe correctly.
Like, at what point do you give up? Like, at what point is it 20 prompts in? That's when you should give up.
Okay, so I've got it to the point of this, where, I've changed it around. It's no longer doing the gradient. It's no longer changing the colors. It's making this, trying to make a real game here, where we got our player, which is the green thing, and we can move around. And okay.
This should have been simple from my perspective. I just need a first-person game where I can look around and not have it tilt when I move my mouse. Can I even collide with these things? Okay, well, give us some credit for that. I can collide with these things.
To answer the question of when should you give up 20 prompts in, yeah, it's a good question. Sometimes you do get to the point where it's hopeless and you've made a mess of the code, or rather AI has made a mess of the code. Well, you're both to blame, right? But so off, what I do to solve this is I'm constantly checking into Git. Like every time I make progress that I want to keep, commit that to Git. And then at any point, I can always just, give up on what a big mess I've made and go back to the working state. So I'm just doing some cleanup here. I'm getting it so that, it's centered nicely. And my code didn't work well the first time as his. Like I can walk through objects, right? So let me just fix that. Okay, so here I am moving around. And now can aha! That object is now solid. Excellent. Okay, so now it's time to make it first person, right? So we don't want to see the green thing. We want to be the green thing, right? And so let's tell it to be the green thing. All right, this is going really well. I mean, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I have to go back and forth over and over, but like it's working well this time. All right, let's give the wall some texture. So I've placed a PNG file in the directory, and I'm telling it, hey, use this PNG as the wall texture. Pretty good, but did you notice I can walk through this wall here? Okay, let's fix that. Okay, so this was a necessary prompt. I was getting very confused because I had started with WASD, and then I had added arrow keys, and like I couldn't tell which direction I'm looking. And so what I really need is a mini map, right? I need a little like bird's eye view of, okay, what are the objects in this room? Where are the walls? Let me just see, right? Ah, excellent. I like my little mini map. Okay. So I'm turning around here, I'm moving up, I'm moving down. Well, the mini map looks good, but it doesn't seem to be representing reality, right? Like some of the walls aren't where they should be. Like something's odd, I think. Okay, so let's look at this prompt carefully. I saved some screenshots in the directory. I saved odd 1 and odd 2. And like in odd 1, I'm saying I see a corner, but I'm in the middle of the room. And in odd 2, I'm close to the right side of the room, but the texture of the walls is still on the left. And why is there no texture on the wall straight ahead of me? When I walk forward, I eventually stop at a blank, invisible wall. Think hard about making the texture walls match the reality of what the mini map shows. Saying think hard I use all the time, and sometimes I even say ultra think, which in Claude Code is the word you're supposed to use when you want to say think extra hard. Okay, this is much better, right? I'm walking around here, and the mini map and what I'm seeing with the walls and the direction I'm facing, and then I turn around, it's no longer odd. Like it definitely solved it, right? All right. Okay, so those red boxes have got to go. Let's make them something better. So I saved another little PNG here called mush.png, and let's put it in. Hey, it looks pretty good. All right, I can walk around and I can no longer see red boxes, but I can see nice mushrooms. All right, it's time to be able to jump. Every game lets you jump, right? So the space button should like move you up in the air. The walls should give you the illusion that you're actually jumping. All right, this is good. We can jump. Okay, but I think I probably aren't going to be able to jump on top of one of the mushrooms. Let's see. Yeah. All right, it's all about writing a good prompt, right? Okay, so I'm telling it it's good, but I can't seem to land on top of the mush.png box and permanently stay elevated. When I press and move forward arrow mid-jump, it doesn't move me over the box. Think hard about how to achieve this and make sure once you're on top of the box, you can move off it and fall down back to a normal ground level. All right, I think this is gonna work. Let's see. I'm now turning right in front of a mushroom. I'm jumping, and I landed on top of the mushroom. Watch, I'm gonna fall off now. Perfect. All right, so I put all the source up on GitHub, github.com, Andrew Arrow /Cody. I don't mean to pick on Cody. I think Cody's probably a good programmer. I just think there's this attitude of vibing is bad and that you need to avoid it because if you're a good programmer, you can do it all yourself without AI. And I just want to change everyone's view on that, like a 180 degree, and just be like, look, if you're a good programmer, use your good programming skills to write good prompts. Use it to do good problem solving. And if you can stay out of the code, wonderful. You notice this entire project, I never once had to look at the code. Now, that doesn't happen every time. And this project, I must say, it went really well. I think one of the big differences between Cody and me is I'm using Claude Code 4.0. It just handled things a lot better. But often I'm doing stuff where it doesn't, and I'm fighting it. And sometimes I do have 20 prompts and I'm wondering if I should give up, but I don't. I just keep working the problem. And then, yes, sometimes I will go and look at the code, but it's rare. It's not often. And that's not really my goal. My goal is to get the thing working as fast as I can with good quality. It's definitely a code quality balance of how fast you want to vibe and how, robust code you want to produce. But go ahead. If someone else has another vibe project that they're struggling with, post in the comments, and I'll do another video like this showing how I would have vibed it.